Okay, so I don't know the photographer guy from anything in particular, but he is a non-stop working character actor, so that's cool.
Okay, yeah, that's what I thought. I mean, I know I've seen him in something else before, but I just can't, I couldn't nail his name down exactly. Cool.
Okay.
I'm ready when you are, my friend.
Ready when you are. Okay, ready? 3, 2. Welcome back to Show Me What I've Been Missing, your pop culture podcast. It's like, hey, look at that thing. I'm one of your hosts, Elizabeth Stanton. With me is my other host,
Chris Back. What's going on, guys?
Playing air
something.
Guitar, cello.
It was air theremin.
Theremin.
Theremin. Air theremin is what it's called.
Okay. It only works if you're watching the video too, anyway. So
yeah,
which more of you seem to be doing, so that's fine. So yeah, it'll work.
Yes, very
much. We are watching Sex and the City from start to finish. Chris has, seen it in passing, but never really actively watched the show. I have, of course, seen it way too many times. We have to mention at the top, and just like that, got a season 2.
Really?
Yeah.
I'm surprised that from what I was hearing about it, people weren't really in love with it that much.
It's got a lot to answer for still.
Yeah.
And it left on some pretty big cliffhangers itself about certain characters' futures. So hoping for Zombie Big. Just kidding. I don't want Zombie Big.
Actually, I would watch the show if that was a character. I would tune in. You're like, fuck the spoilers. I'm going in. Zombie Big would be amazing. It'd be a big turnaround for this.
And just like that, the zombie apocalypse hit New York.
It's like, it would be like fucking Sex and the City meets fucking Lovecraft Country. Yeah.
I couldn't help but wonder if Big was a zombie. Was I just being a zombie in my heart? I'm really bad at writing those. People are really good at coming up with those fake ones, and I'm really bad at them, and it makes me sad.
It's okay. I couldn't go over the better one.
Oh yeah. I couldn't help but wonder if Big was a zombie, could he be a zombie?
That would be one.
There we go.
Or be like, I can't help but think, is Big a zombie, or am I just a zombie when I'm with him?
Yeah, that's a legit one. See, you're getting it. You're getting it.
I know, she's infected me. God damn it, I'm watching too much of this
just
stuff.
like a zombie. I bit you and I infected you. What do you call it? We are on season 4, episode 2, The Real Me. This is hands down one of the most famous episodes of the show.
I can see why.
It's got a lot going on. Right before we started, we're like, there's a lot of celebrity cameos, kind of pre-fame, mid-fame, or mid-height of their fame, I should say.
Yeah.
So I'm not around anymore. We'll kind of get to them as we get to them. And this has the fashion roadkill moment, which is very so classic.
Yeah.
It gets shown all the time. This is probably one of the most played episodes on E!
Really?
There's no sex in it. It's pretty clean as far as except for Samantha, but they edit around it like crazy.
Well, with the TV. Oh yeah, on TVS, I'm sure. Yeah. I'm surprised their whole plot line isn't taken out.
It's minimized in a big way, but it's just easily one of the most recognizable episodes of the show. So let's get into it. Who would you like to start with?
Let's start with. Well, I feel like we should start on a high note. So let's start with Carrie's story. Yeah,
because Carrie, it's kind of minimal for her in a way. She is asked by Margaret Cho, making a cameo appearance as a fashion show director, producer, to be one of the real people models in her fashion show. They're doing a mix of professional models and then regular New York famous people.
Yeah. Speaking of fashion, was that a tuxedo dress that she was wearing? It was a weird steampunk tuxedo dress
in the beginning.
Yes, in the beginning.
Oh, I don't even probably. I don't know.
It was like steampunk before steampunk and what it
Yeah.
is now, but it was like very like it was like a retro robotic scientific tuxedo
I did
dress.
not even notice that. I'm fixated on the fashion at the end of the episode.
That's fair. Both were great, by the way.
Yeah.
Just the interesting look on Carrie, which she's always like the one that has like the most interesting looks. I feel like.
Yeah, she's the funkiest fashion wise.
Yeah.
So she, she's kind of shy about it and is like, I don't know. And then she gets hyped up by the girls.
Yes.
And finally, and she's still like all hung up on it because she's talking about, wondering about narcissism and the myth of Narcissus, which is where we get the word narcissism from.
Yes.
For non-mythology nerds, Narcissus famously in Greek myth was like super beautiful and hot and knew it and was like, my reflection is damn hot. I gotta keep looking at this. And he was looking at a pool, like a reflecting pool, and he tipped in and drowned.
Yep.
So don't do that.
Yeah, don't look in a pool.
Be aware of your surroundings. Tell people where you're going. And
yeah. Yeah.
Don't be that vain.
Yeah. Well, I mean, that's a crazy world that we live in because I feel like that kind of behavior is definitely more prevalent now with the more advanced social media has become and becomes. I think people get more narcissistic by nature. Like I feel like narcissism is going to be a part of like almost like just like a regular human trait if we keep going with social media.
Yeah, and I mean, speaking of people dying from narcissism, there are people who have taken selfies in locations where they've like fallen off of stuff and died, like cliffs or boats and things like that. So it's actually not that far off from the myth. Who would have thought?
I mean, it literally is that. You know,
it literally is like I'm so cool.
Yeah, if you're trying to take such a dope picture that you're like put yourself in harm or fall into harm, you're a narcissist. You're a narcissist. Yeah.
Yeah. So just be careful.
Yes.
So she finally gets talked into it when she hears like she might get to keep the clothes.
Yes. Which here's the thing, I feel like that's what I was like with her with that because I was like I feel like because if somebody asked me to be a model, I would be hesitant too. But then like if you tell me I get some free clothes, fuck it, whatever.
I know I've been getting this, and actually more so when we were doing the TMI podcast regularly. I got a couple of random like Instagram messages from like tiny brands, like a couple plus size women's brands that were like, we want you to wear the shirt, but I had to buy it. I was like, no.
Yeah, don't trust that. That's a bullshit.
I was like, I think this is a scam.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. First of all, if you want me to be your model or your spokesperson and you can't send it to me for free, clearly not. You're not either like you're just trying to get me to be a customer on the low. Like bro, don't try me.
So Carrie goes to the fitting and it's being run by Alan Cumming, who I adore. Yes. He's the best. He's so great.
Yes. And I was like, when he showed, I was like, that's what I was just like, Jesus, so many cameos.
So many cameos. Yeah. So already in the first like 10 minutes of the show, we have Margaret Cho, we have Alan Cumming,
Tony Hale.
Tony Hale pops up.
Yeah.
Heidi Klum pops up. We'll get to that in a minute.
Yeah.
Towards the end. But yeah, so Carrie is, this is key to remember. Carrie keeps saying, oh, I'm comfortable in heels. I'm comfortable in heels. Just keep that in mind.
She does keep saying it, but she also keeps saying it like, I'm not a model. But then like, everybody's like, no, just do it. Like, cause like, you're not supposed to be a model. It's the whole fashion show is supposed to be like regular people of New York and then supermodels and just like the contrast between the two, like showing that, the clothes are for everybody. That's what the whole thing is. And she's just like super, she like needs to get hyped up. Then she really does feel like a model.
Yeah.
Until she gets to.
And she does meet a photographer at the.
Yeah.
That guy was really cute. That's why I'm so hung up on him. I was like, where have I seen him? He's into doing candids. She's like, well, you gotta let me pose. He's like, no, I'm all about the candid stuff like that. And just speaking of heels and stuff, Sarah Jessica Parker is only 5'3", so she is teeny, and that's why they were in the fitting. They were like, we'd have to hem the dress, but then they say like at one point we wouldn't have to hem it if we put it on Heidi. And she's like, Heidi Klum, she's all just enamored of the models, which they kind of have constantly touched on the show off and on, like there was the episode like models invading, what was it called? I don't remember. Something like the second episode was like, competing with models in New York for.
Oh yeah. It was an episode of that everybody was dating models at that time or some shit like that. All like the high class or the high value men were like dating models.
Yeah, and her nemesis Natasha is like a former model.
A model, yeah,
and everything like that. So it's just kind of funny. But she and the photographer have a cute little date, and she's going through all his work and stuff like that. And this is the other kind of infamous moment in the episode that I think people take out of context and don't get. So while she's talking to him, he's like, well, you love fashion and the model. She's like, I just love it when I first moved here, sometimes I'd buy Vogue instead of dinner because I felt like it fed me more. Now, I don't think people are like, that's so dumb. Like this, so I was like, I think you're taking it out of context of like the scene.
Right.
And also misunderstanding that it's a joke. She's joking.
That's one. Yeah, true.
This is a comedy show.
Right.
Two, I think she meant it in like an emotional sense, which I get. You're a young, starving writer and maybe want to be model, apparently, because she does like the model stuff.
She does like fashion.
I mean, she likes fashion.
I feel like if you're a person who enjoys fashion, a piece of you probably would want to like be a model in said fashion. You know what I mean? Even if you're just a designer or whatever the case may be, like
or just be part of that world.
Just be part of that world. Yeah, for sure.
And so I think that's part of it too. It's a little character moment, and I get, but mostly it's number one that it's a joke, and I think people just don't understand that it was meant to be a joke. And not played as this like completely serious like
I'm pretty sure Carrie didn't literally starve herself to like read a magazine.
Like Vogue is expensive. Like magazines are expensive. Vogue is expensive.
Sure.
And also, we barely see Carrie eat anyway. So are you like shocked that she doesn't eat that much? I know they're always at that diner or doing brunch. But they're mostly kind of picking at stuff, That's like,
I mean, that's
that's any TV show, though.
Yeah, but no, she's like also like a thin, like she has a six pack. Like we get it. Like she don't eat. She probably doesn't eat anything anyway. But like that doesn't mean that any woman that's like trying. Like, I think the problem is that because people try to emulate movie characters, and unfortunately, like. TV does have an influence on people, and like sometimes they try to be like, well, if I want to be like Carrie Bradshaw and look like Carrie Bradshaw, I don't eat. I'll fucking read Vogue instead of eating, which is like not what she was saying at all.
And it's just like, well, also people gotta let it go. The show's committed far worse sins. So
fair enough. I mean, literally, we just watched the episode where it was like, little tough. He's like, they crossing some lines. But also too, I was gonna say the photographer, like what a tertiary character. Like he literally was like the epitome. Like he's a red shirt in Star Trek. Like he's clearly not gonna last. Like he had one little cute moment where he like showed, he said that cute line and it was like,
showed her the photos of herself.
Yeah, he's like, oh, the most beautiful model here, and so like that was it. Other than that, he was pretty much a nothing guy. Like the fact that they even were on a date, I was like, how did this even happen? I didn't feel any connection with him. Like
it's weird though, that guy has a lot of presence, so I always think he's gonna come back every time I see this episode, and he doesn't. No. But I just think he's really cute, and like I want to know more.
But that was like literally it though, because like even the interaction that they had when he was like taking her picture randomly and stuff like that, like she was like uncomfortable the entire time, and so that I didn't see any sparks flying.
Yeah, it's definitely forced. I think only just for like to build to the punchline of the thing, which is she gets to the fashion show,
right?
And they what do you call it? They switch. Well, first she's like really upset because there's like some of the other New York famous regular people are like let's just say some of the
Oh
names.
wait,
they
first
dropped.
she's upset. First she's upset because she gets there, she's all feeling herself. She's like, "Oh,
Yeah,
I'm Carrie Bradshaw. Can you show me where to go?" And the guy was like, "Oh, you're over there with the non-models."
yeah.
Which, I mean, that was a little bit petty, but also she
You
kind of
gotta
deserved
take
it.
her down a peg from
Yeah,
time
like
to time. You just have to.
just listen. Like you gotta remember, you're not actually a model. I know your friends been hyping you up, but like,
Yeah.
live in reality, homie.
But like the some of the folks she's with as non-models are a lot of them are older and maybe not the most conventionally attractive people. I don't want to call anyone ugly, but
Right. You can say what we say.
You know
Yeah,
what
it is what it is.
you get what I'm getting at.
Hey, it is what it is.
So
Watch the episode.
So she's a little offended that she's with them, but then I think somebody is like, "You're still the most modelly of the non-models. Like you're still the hottest one there. So calm down."
No, yeah, it was Stanford.
Yeah, Stanford.
Oh fuck, we forgot the bitch in Stanford made an appearance in this.
Yeah, well, he kind of has his own mini plot that I thought we could address real quickly.
That's true. You know, I'm sorry. You're right. We can definitely
give him his due.
Yeah, we do. Yeah. Well, and yeah, it was him that told her that was like, you're still like the hottest of all them. Which I mean, for what they showed, yeah, because it was like the only person they showed was the well-known writer that she was talking about. He was like an 80-year-old dude. It's like, well, I mean,
it wasn't the stiffest of competitions.
That's funny on so many levels. You don't even know.
Oh, I know. I said it.
Very, very soft competition, if you know what I'm saying.
I made that noise and my cat was like, yes. I'm like, no, not talking to you.
He's like, oh, playtime?
Yeah. But then as she's kind of waiting to get made up and get ready, she's presented with the change in outfit, which is just some sparkly underwear.
Well, at first we thought that's what it was, because like all he did was walk, like he's like, oh, no blue dress, you're gonna wear
you'll be wearing these,
and she's just bottom, it was just panties. It's like, where's the rest?
I do love that she's like smoking, she's like, I'm gonna need to speak to somebody. just that moment is so perfect where
she was freaking out, bro.
Yeah. But they do give her like kind of a silk like coat or jacket thing, and bra, so she's not totally naked or anything like that. And Alan Cumming was like not taking a no for an answer though anyway. So
I know they kind of like bullied her into it, because he was just like, just put them on, you'll be fabulous, just try them on. And then she like goes to try them on. He's like, if you don't come out, I'll go in there and get you. Like they just like they like shove her to a makeup chair, and the guy's like, oh, don't worry, I'm gonna make you look fabulous. I'm a fan of your art. Like all this other stuff. Like,
well, that is actually a very famous makeup artist that does her makeup in the.
Is that right?
Yeah. So they give her big hair, and then it's Kevin Aquan. He was very, very well known in like that kind of scene, and did several books on makeup called that are still referenced, has a line. He sadly passed away in like 2002.
Oh wow.
From different health complications. He had I think a brain tumor thing. Oh, wow. And that was being treated, but then he had other pain management problems, and I think got a little hooked on painkillers. If I read this the other day, and I deeply apologize if I'm getting the information wrong. But he did pass away sadly in 2002. And people like, I remember reading an article about him a while ago after he had passed, but everybody just had these beautiful stories about him and really, really trusted him as a makeup artist. And he was kind of known for really transforming the way people look too, like with introducing contouring in kind of a mainstream way. Okay. Compare maybe not as mainstream as we kind of think of it now, where like everybody and their brother's trying to do it, but they're actually doing more of a drag contour, frankly. His was much more like genuine, like put a shadow here, put a highlight here, and now your face is like a different shape. Where as I love drag queens, but a lot of people have pointed out when contouring was super big for a while there, women especially were overdoing it because they weren't kind of taking into consideration that kind of contouring was meant to soften a man's face, basically. Right. Yeah. And you depend, again, everybody has a different face shape, but that was sort of the general approach. Right. And if you have a naturally like rounder, softer face, as like a cis woman in particular, and you're doing super heavy contour, it's kind of overload for what.
Right. Yeah.
It's too exaggerated.
You're like you're painted it on instead of
yeah
doing makeup. Yeah.
So he was very good at doing like a subtle transformation thing.
Okay.
But he was very, very well known, very well loved, and like I said, his books and makeup and stuff are still for sale to this day. So that's quite the cameo to include him.
Okay.
And that's why she's so like amazed when he stops by, and you notice it's like she never really looks like this again is in the series, this like particular makeup look. It is obviously for like a stage thing, but it's just a very different look for her, which I just found interesting.
Yeah, it was dope. I mean, yeah, she did. Like, again, we got to give a special shout out. I know we're gonna get to her later, but I got to give a special shout out to Samantha because everybody was telling her she looks fabulous, and she was like, "Nope, I don't believe you. I need my real friend out here."
Samantha.
And of course, Samantha, being the realest bitch in the group, was like there, and she heard it from her, and then she was like, "All right,"
she's like, "I can go model."
Yeah, I'm a model. Yeah, which I mean, honestly, she did look great though. She did look fantastic. When she came out of the curtain, I was like, okay.
Yeah. And remember how we said she talked up how high her heels were even backstage. She's like, they gave me really high heels. I'm so excited.
Oh yeah, here's the thing too. Not only did she say she can walk in heels and she wanted the highest heels possible, she also insisted on the heels.
Yeah.
Because they weren't gonna put her in shoes, but she was like immediately when she was trying on the dress and the fitting, she was like, oh, I can wear heels, don't worry about it. I gotta know the dress is long, but I can wear heels. Like, so
hubris gets us all in the end.
She had a little
she wipes out like 4 steps into that runway walk. She's just trips and just fucking eats it on that.
And you know why? It's because she was feeling herself too hard.
Much.
She was completely being a narcissist in that moment right there.
Yeah.
And that's why she fell over. If it had been a pool, she would have drowned.
Yep.
And you notice the fall brought her out of that.
Oh yeah. She's like,
and then she got up and was gorgeous. She walked.
Yeah, and she was still in herself. That's the end of the relationship with the photographer guy because he won't stop taking her damn picture while she's face down on the ground.
My guy, like completely inappropriate. Like, of course, those pictures are gonna sell. I get it, but like, at least hide the shit. Like, pretend like you're at least a little bit affected by the fact she fell, and not just go in like take it.
He had a really aggressive camera.
He was clacking that thing, bro.
And she's like, stop taking my fucking picture. Like, yeah. She's 100% right.
Absolutely. I mean, not that anybody else would stop and take pictures, but like, don't be that guy.
Yeah, but she does what you have to do in those situations, which is you pick yourself up.
Yes.
She finishes. Oh, she's fashion roadkill, by the way, because they send Heidi Klum out after her, and she literally walks over. It's like really rough. It's definitely like, oh,
this is there for. It's like, oh my gosh, she's fashion roadkill.
Yeah,
that's funny.
But she picks herself up. She even high fives Heidi Klum on the way back, as they circle the runway, and she recovers. And she hangs up her sparkly panties and struts around her apartment. That's that. That's the end of Carrie's episode.
Yeah. Well, I thought it was weird. I don't know why, but I just felt weird. Like they in the whole thing at the end where she's like dancing into her bathroom. Why they put her in such like oversized underwear?
I think to contrast the sparkly ones.
Okay, because those were like the granny, like she was wearing granny panties basically at the end. I'm just like,
yeah,
why?
That's what you wear when you're at home.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm not wearing a thong at home.
Well, no, not a thong. No, not a thong.
Wearing granny panties now, my guy.
Because she was wearing whitey tighties. You know what I'm saying? So like, you can still like wear whitey tighties. They don't have to be like thongs. You know what I mean? But I just don't understand why they were like so oversized. But I guess if you
you gotta let your boys breathe. You gotta let the ladies flat breathe.
Ladies, what?
You heard me.
What?
You heard me. Gotta air that shit out.
Oh my God.
Get a yeast infection if you don't.
Well, speaking of yeast
infections,
let's get into Charlotte
storyline.
Yeah.
I was not trying to set us up to go there next, but I did, so we will.
Hey, listen, called natural conversation. That's what we do here, man.
It just flows, baby. Charlotte doesn't have a lot going on until she's talking to Carrie, and she's like, I kind of might want a new gynecologist, and asks Carrie if she likes hers. But like, she won't tell Carrie why. She's like,
yes,
are you like, because you talk and you kind of suss out symptoms, and you'd be like, oh, I experienced this or I didn't. You can kind of help guide along. Insurance changed and I can't go to him anymore, but I did like the guy I had who was a friend recommendation. I had him for several years.
Well, that's where like these like moments like these where I kind of feel bad for Charlotte, because like if you think back to when you remember those friends she met up with when she was going through stuff with her husband and like those kind of friends, like it's the sad thing is that she had friends like that growing up, so she isn't comfortable talking about like her body and things of that nature with friends who wouldn't judge her. Like they would never judge her at all. Like, and I'm surprised she has this conversation with Carrie and not Samantha. I feel like
she can't get it. She can't quite do it with Samantha, but because of the later scene, which we'll get to.
Fair enough. Right,
but she goes to the gyno and she learns she has like vulvodynia, which is basically a depressed vagina, and even gets a like antidepressant prescription for it. I forgot to Google. I'm assuming this is a real thing.
Okay, because I have a question, like a dumb man here. Is this a real thing? Can vaginas get depressed? Because that's kind of sad.
It can. I probably with hormones and like stuff.
Right.
And,
like I can imagine if you're depressed, that might do things to you. That does do things to your body. But
I think she's so stressed from all the Trey stuff that it's probably affecting.
Well, sure. Yeah, she's about to get a divorce, right?
Yeah. Like she said, they're still talking, but like,
sure.
She knows.
She knows.
But are they reconciling? Are they not? We don't know. Yeah. And neither does she. And then she has to journal to track the symptoms, and she's telling them this at brunch, and they're all like laughing, like, dear diary, it's like sad vagina day, and that's kind of funny. But you do have to track symptoms. I have a period tracker app that I use. A lot of women do. It's great because I can legit see when the next one's coming.
Yep.
And kind of mentally prepare, which is a little good. Or if I'm like, why am I feeling like Looney Tunes, and I'll be like, wait a minute, look and be like, oh, we're a week out, that's why I'm starting to get the flood of bullshit. Being a woman rules, I guess.
Okay. Because I've always had this question, and I feel like that we can talk about it real quick without be like going off into a crazy tangent, but like, what does it feel like mentally, like when your period's coming on? Because like it's like you're saying it, like you said you start to feel like Looney Tunes, so like can you actively feel your brain like switching into that mode?
It's different for everybody. I get sort of hypersensitive. I'm already sensitive and I cry at shit like kind of easy, but it's like ratcheted up.
Okay.
So this is how on target is. I watched Turning Red last Friday. And was turning. I watched Turning Red last Friday.
Oh, that new okay.
Which is literally about like a giant metaphor for puberty and getting your period and stuff.
Yeah, it's Teen Wolf again.
Yeah, it's good, but for girls. And she's a giant red panda. It's so stinking cute. It's real. I love the animation. It's very cute. And even in the movie, when she first like wakes up and she's screaming and she's like, "I'm a monster," the mom runs in with pads and ibuprofen and stuff, because the way she's screaming, she thinks, oh, her period started and I gotta guide her through this. But as the movie was going, I like burst into tears like halfway through it over like the mother-daughter relationship and like other stuff, and I was like, why am I fucking crying at a children's film about a girl who turns into a red panda, and it's all just a metaphor for puberty, and I know that. And I was like, wait a minute, whip out the phone. You're literally week out to the day almost of your period starting.
Man, that is so bizarre, man.
It's bizarre, and it's very frustrating for me because I'm also kind of natural, like if I'm angry or frustrated, I'm kind of a crier that way too, like where it's not like I'm not sad cry, it's like people get angry and you cry that way, like that's how it comes out sometimes. And so that makes it hard during that week, like that I'm kind of extra sensitive, and I have to kind of like pay attention to like certain emotion things and like not sort of trigger those emotions to the best of my abilities. It's not always possible, but it's harder because it really kind of surges things. Well, actually, when I was in high school and was first having it, my mom kind of I could lose focus too. So my mom kind of noticed my grades were always good, but they'd kind of dip a little during this week, and it would kind of sync up with when I was on my period and stuff like that. So
man, that's crazy.
it's
Like
the worst.
and I get it too, man. Like, because like, I used to always, say to myself, or not say to myself, say to myself, like, why do girls get mad when you call them crazy? But like, when that's flowing through you and like it literally makes you crazy, don't fucking call me crazy. It's not my fault. Like,
yeah,
I did nothing. I was just born, motherfucker. Like this, I'm literally crazy right now.
And I'm also slightly frustrated by it. Sometimes birth control can help manage that and obviously control that flow of hormones. And I was on it and I noticed a difference, but unfortunately, because of my previous health problems and like blood clotting issues, I can't be on birth control, or at least not like actually any kind. I asked around a lot, and unfortunately, one of the side effects for just about all types is blood clotting, and because I had a problem with that leading up to the cancer diagnosis and stuff, it's just sort of like my one doctor was like, you can do it, but like I was like, why take the risk? She's like, yeah, why take the risk? Like, if you can, if I can kind of plug through it, and it does. Now that I understand it better, obviously as an adult woman, like I have a better handle on like, okay, it's a little tricky time of the month and you got a better handle on this, you're okay. So it's the trade-off of gambling on whether or not I have another giant blood clot, not worth it. So I have to, I'm kind of stuck without it, which is,
especially not with like the vaccine and shit like that. They were saying like it was causing blood clots in people, so you don't want like add a double. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I just can't. Yeah, I can't like spin that roulette wheel too hard and be like, no whammies, no blood
playing
clots.
Roulette with like 3 bullets in the chamber. Like,
yeah, so it's a little tricky that way, but it's as they're talking about vagina stuff at lunch. Samantha is shocked that Charlotte has never really looked at hers.
Again, got a question there. Like, I feel like, isn't that important?
Oh yeah, you gotta. You know
what I mean? Like, not just on just like getting to know yourself, but like literally like for your health. Isn't that important?
Yeah, you gotta like check what's happening downstairs from time to time.
Yeah.
Like, just keep an eye on it. Like, it's I think it's funny that Charlotte's like, I think it's ugly. And Miranda's like, well, now we know why it's depressed.
Right.
But yeah, it's
when her and Samantha were going at it, and she goes, right, Carrie? She's like, how did I get into this?
Yeah.
That was the best line. She's like, why am I this now?
Yeah. But yeah, you definitely have to look at it, and if you think men don't know about it, which they don't, it's shocking how many women don't know about it. Actually, there's a great scene in Orange is the New Black where they're going where Laverne Cox is going over it, because I forget what triggers the conversation and stuff like that, but she like literally has a drawing of it, and she's like, this is your inner and outer labia.
It was when I think I know that. I feel like this was the first season, or maybe the second season. I can't remember because that show kind of blurs. But I think it was the first season. The Asian girl came into the prison, and she like wouldn't take a shower. Like she just wouldn't.
Right.
Like, scared of like somebody trying to like get at her sexually, so she wouldn't take a shower. And then she like got an infection down there, and Laverne had to like speak to her like, "This is why you need to shower. Like, this is not good for you. You're going to die."
You got like, and it's it's harder if guys, you can kind of like look down and kind of easily see all your bits.
You still gotta do a little lifting and
you
stretch.
Gotta
lift and
but
stretch.
It's a little more internal for the ladies, so you really got to kind of angle it and hold the mirror right, and then just check out the situation, which they do bring the narcissist joke back, because at the end, like as Carrie says, she inspired her friends to succeed or to overcome their things. Haha. But I just love that Charlotte's is all her hurdle was this episode was finally daring to look at her vagina, but then she does it so intently she tips off the bed, which like a little nod to Narcissus getting died.
I think just about everybody fell in this show in a way. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because like Carrie literally fails, had fallen, and then Charlotte as well literally fallen, and then like Samantha kind of fell a little bit with like after she took that photo shoot, how like she was feeling herself, and then same thing happened with Miranda. She was feeling herself a little too much, and messed it up. So
it's important to be confident, but not cocky.
Yes. Speaking of cocky, let's go ahead and get into Miranda. I
feel like her
and Samantha were sharing the same kind of a storyline.
Yeah. So first of all, Miranda is working out at her gym, and then a little time capsule moment because I just lived for this. She's jogging with the CD player strapped to like her hand wrist.
Yes.
Full ass CD player.
Yes. Portable CD
player.
Yeah.
And listening to Ricky Martin, She Bangs.
Dude, like way to solidify like this is an era episode. Like this can't transcend, like this episode can't transcend through time because it is completely a 2000s era, like early 2000s era. Like that scene right there, like you said, the fucking portable, and even the brand of this player too. Because remember the fucking headphones were like that was like half ear headphones.
Yeah.
Oh my god!
This is like I think it's from like Doctor Who, where they're like, we can't change these events; they're a fixed point in time. I'm like, that's a fixed point in time right there.
You'll never see that again.
The song will never change. Yeah, you'll never see it before then or after then. That is the only moment in time it is happening in the timeline. Our Loki or some shit where it's like time variance authority, the TVA. We're like, this is a fixed point in time that we can return to anytime. Is this moment with freaking She Bangs playing.
Wow. Oh, also didn't know that Crunch Gym was around at that time. I thought that was like something
a newer brand.
10 years maybe at best. Not that far back. Yeah.
It might have started as like a New York thing, maybe, and then spread out, which totally makes sense. But yeah, so the trainer guy or like a gym employee hits up Miranda. He's like, oh, you're on the treadmill too long. She's like, oh, sorry. But then he was like, you want to, go out? I think you're pretty hot.
Yeah, he said she was sexy.
Sexy.
She said she was very sexy, which threw her up. Okay, question.
I would absolutely be thrown off if someone was like, you were sexy. I'd be like, fuck off.
Okay, but okay though. Let me ask this in the way that so I can understand it as a man.
Sure.
Okay. Like if I see you out and you're not wearing makeup and you're like scrubbing it out and you're like not giving a fuck how you look, and I see you and I think that you are fine, why is that like almost an insult to women? Like women get more offended that you think that they look hot in their natural state than when they're done up. Why does that hit y'all so hard? Or make you uncomfortable when it's like, this is you. I like you. Like I literally liking you.
I think because society has told us that the only sure way to be accepted as attractive is to be kind of put together in some way, and so natural is discouraged. Even like no makeup is like hours of makeup to like look like you're not wearing any.
Sometimes, yeah.
Sometimes,
some people really
and stuff like that. So, and because even like looking natural like that, like no makeup is still a process. Like I think like when you're at your sort of natural, maybe you just don't feel your best. It's an insecurity thing, and it's been hammered home. It's been like, oh, your hair's not brushed or done, and you're not wearing any makeup. Oh, you look, that's not a good look. You need to kind of put a little concealer on. But it's just society, man.
But here's the thing, but here's the difference, though. I feel like when you're in that mode, y'all hear it as sarcasm, even though we're being sincere. Like we're saying, "Oh, you look very hot," and so, like, I feel like when it goes to y'all ears, it sounds like, "Oh, you look very hot." We're insulting you in some way when it's not. Like you can look to men. Like that's who you're trying to attract. If you're into
Mhm.
that, like I feel like you should take that as a huge compliment. Like if you are not looking your best, and I see you and I say you look sexy.
I think it's just because I don't think it genuinely
No, not
happens.
should. I'm sorry, not should, but like
No,
I don't see. I think it should. I don't think it should spark negativity out of that.
it shouldn't. It should be like, oh wow, they think I'm beautiful no matter what. But I think
Right.
it's just it doesn't happen often enough so that when
Fair
it
enough.
does, it's sort of like, what? No, liar. Yeah.
Fair enough. And also too, like, and I will add a caveat to that. Like, it also depends on how the guy does it, because like you could be creepy or you could be,
Yeah. And
bothering the
honestly,
person and she doesn't want to be talked to. So like,
that's
I
half
get
the
it.
battle is sometimes like, you know, yeah, like obviously, catcalling and all that's bad. And so it's sort of, it's just being a woman's dangerous and hard. So sometimes people's coming up to you and talking to you out of the blue is a little like, well, what do you want? Why are you talking
Right.
to me?
And it's
You
also
know?
too, like, if you're in that mode, like you clearly don't really want to be around people, but you have
Yeah.
to, take care of a task and you're trying to get it done and then get the fuck back
Yeah.
home. So, you're kind of already got your defenses up anyway. So I forgive in that
Yeah.
light as well.
But I know it's true. Like I always remember this story for some reason because I think it's very sweet when I heard it. I think it was like Clive Owen of all people, it's on the Daily Show, and he was talking about like meeting his wife in an acting class, and he's like, she came in and it had been raining, and so like her hair was wetting down, and she kind of like was bent over and like set her stuff down, and then turned, and he was like, whoa, like, and that's obviously she's not at her like most done up. She's
Right.
rain soaked, but like I just don't think it happens often enough. Like that those moments in real life.
Yeah.
Like even like movies and stuff like that. You're kind of trained to think when you're at your natural, you're just not. It's the she's all that problem. Like, oh, her glasses and kind of natural look is so lame when she's fucking gorgeous to begin with. Obviously, she's good looking.
Right.
She's a pretty girl to start with, and like glasses don't hide that or anything like that. Glasses don't hide that in general.
Yes, it does. Okay, I could not tell the difference between Clark Kent and Superman when he puts on his glasses. All right. He also brushes his hair to the right when he
like it works in the Christopher Reeve ones. I think because I haven't watched the Man of Steel ones, but people point out it really works in the Christopher Reeve Superman.
The Man of Steel one, it does not work at all because Henry Cavill is like a fucking gargantuan.
Yeah. And also
dude, like there's not enough clothing to put on him to make him look unassuming. Like he's also 6'3". There's nobody who's 6'3" that's like a little style, bro.
And Christopher Reeve was tall and built and everything, but he wasn't obviously like crazy roided out like they are now. But they also pointed out, like, acting wise, he does this kind of nice subtle job. When he's Clark Kent, he shrinks a little. He's hunched in and like withdrawn. And when he takes there's this, I actually just saw a gif of it for some reason on like Twitter the other day. And when he takes the glasses off, his whole posture and when he projects changes, and that's why it works like that.
He's still the best. He's still the best Superman and Clark Kent both at the same time, which is hard to do because, like, playing the dual personalities, like, you'd always be like, with Batman, it's like somebody plays one or the other, like, or a good Bruce Wayne, but terrible Batman, or a great Batman, terrible Bruce Wayne. He nails both. Yeah. Clark Kent and Superman.
And obviously Christopher Reeve is very handsome, very good looking. And he's someone regardless you would like stop and look at. But like you said, Henry Cavill is sort of like too striking and too big and too like, and I haven't seen the movie.
I saw a picture of Henry Cavill drunk and he still looked handsome as fuck. Like wasted. Like literally like a candid shot. Somebody was like, Cavill, he was like, and he was still just jawline of the gods.
Yeah. But I love that he's a huge nerd, like, and he like legit loves like Warhammer or something like that, and built his own computer.
Don't care. Still too handsome. Fuck him.
Yeah, fuck that guy. Yeah, fuck that guy. Right.
So Miranda,
toss a coin to your Witcher, indeed. So goddamn hot in that show. Fuck.
So Miranda.
Sorry, got distracted. Think about Henry Cavill.
Come back to us, Elizabeth. Come back to us.
Nope.
You're
bye.
So Miranda goes on a date with he what was now I didn't care about his name after this because they
I
called
don't
him.
think they said his name.
He said his name, but
Oh, did he?
after
Good for him.
Carrie called him Captain Crunch in the voiceover, he's now Captain
This is
Crunch.
Captain.
That was
I
fantastic.
missed that. I missed that note. I'm so glad you wrote that down. That's
Oh my god, dude! I heard that. I was like, Captain Crunch, not Captain Crunch, because he did look like a Captain America type. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like he definitely would be Chris Evans' stand-in if he was doing Captain America at this point. So calling him Captain Crunch was
perfect.
Salute to the writer.
So yeah, like the first date, she's still really bashful, and she's like,
yes.
I don't know, you know.
And that's what he found attractive.
And that's what he found attractive was her being kind of bashful. Yeah, I think you're right.
Because then in the second date, she's like real cocky. She's basically trying to act like Samantha on the date. Like, you know, real take charge, real assertive, like, you know, I'm in charge of everything kind of thing. And the dude was like, nah.
And she's like, I love my life, my friends, my job. And he just kind of thinks she's like almost talking too much or like just talking about herself too much, which is a problem. You can run into that.
To be fair, though, like, yes, she was wrong with that. But from what it sounded like, because they came back from the first day, he was like, oh, I hope I didn't talk about myself too much because, you know, all you said was this was fun. I was like, that's all you said like the entire night. But I'm like, okay, so she becomes full of herself and like, are you like, so he clearly, that guy is probably full of himself. And like, if he didn't even know they didn't talk that much all night, he was like mostly talking about himself. And then when she does it, he's like, oh, that's a turn off.
Yeah.
Like, get over yourself first, bro. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because then he kind of ghosts her, and then she's disappointed, and so she gets up the guts at the end of the episode to go ask like what happened. And he's like, I just think you're really full of yourself, and that just like knocks her right back down to regular Miranda.
Yeah. Which, you know, again, like, because I also too, like I was saying, like that whole scene where she was like being that way. I wouldn't be like turned off, but it definitely I could tell it's like it's not her.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like that's not you. That's not, you know, from what we've seen through this entire series, that's not you. I mean, literally like 3 or 4 episodes ago, you got so drunk on a date because you got the guy was way too hot for you to be seen with in public. Like you know what I'm saying? So this ain't you, but she tried, she gave it a good old whirl.
Yeah.
Also, that guy, like, nothing striking about him. She didn't miss out. I mean, she's you know, fine. He works out and shit. That's about
That's probably his whole personality, which is
right.
Kind of a bummer.
Also, too, I feel
she's
like
so into
another
personality.
Also, I feel like that's kind of another Steve type.
Yeah.
Meaning, just because, like, you know, he's a bartender, and it's just not an insult to anybody that works in service. I'm not saying it, but like, he's, you know, at best, he was the manager at that gym. Yeah. He didn't like own the gym, so this is still kind of like her dating, like. Not in her wheelhouse, I guess. Where she would want to actually be. Yeah.
Which you could obviously date outside of it, but she didn't want to. Yeah. It wasn't working. So there you go. But on to Samantha.
My girl Samantha.
She's feeling herself. She's feeling herself.
So Samantha decides that she's getting a little older. She's realizing that, and she wants to capture this moment in her time where she's at her peak. And decides that she wants to have a nude photo shoot done of herself so she can, like, you know, have the memories to look back on. Okay. Is that narcissistic? Yes. However, I kind of feel that though.
But she was also doing it in she was trying to make it like an artistic sort of like.
Yes, but I feel that
highlight thing. I get it. Like
I feel that though, because like.
It's no more narcissistic than people who do like couples photos. Or, you know, I mean, I know it's like really highlighting, like obviously her body and everything like that. But I mean, you know, glamour shots were popular for a reason. People like to look good and have that immortalized. And it's
it's like something for herself. It's not like she wanted to like put it out to the world or nothing like that. Yeah. She wasn't like, so she's not so full of herself that she's like, everyone needs to see this. I mean, hell, even when she got like the negatives back, she only showed her friends. You know what I mean? She wasn't like,
and some friends they are, because when she says I want to get them done, they're like, why? So you can put it on postcards and just give it out to prospective dates. I was like, you bitches.
Yeah, no, judgmental ass bitches. After all the support this bitch is giving all 3 of you, y'all want to still look down on her because she want to do something nice for herself. Yeah. It's called self-care for a reason. That's why she's the happiest one there.
Yeah. again, as many people suspected, I don't think this is her full-time friend group. There's got to be
No,
others.
this has to be. There has to be. There's no way, because I feel like she would get sick of these bitches. Like if she was hanging out with them all the time. Maybe not Carrie, because when Carrie's not around, like Charlotte and Miranda, she's a little less judgy.
Yeah, she's a little chiller that way.
Yeah, but the rest of them, like when they're all four together, I can see. But also too, like I feel, like I said, I feel where she's coming from, because there's times in your life where you've been like your peak, and it's peak. Like there was time in my life where I was like I was in better shape body wise than I was when I was in the fucking Marines. Like that's how good it was. Man. And I never took any pictures, and now I wish like because I'm never gonna get back in there. Mostly because I'm never gonna starve myself like that again. I didn't really starve myself. I was unemployed, but like
Did you buy Vogue? Did it feed you more?
No, I bought 2 McChickens a day. That's what I was living on.
Oh, to be a young man and be able to burn off those McChickens, you bastard.
Well, here's the thing. That was the only thing I ate for the whole day.
Only 2 McChickens. The
only thing I ate. Yeah.
Okay.
Literally, I would like your boy was broke. Like
now.
Literally, all I lived off of was spoonfuls of peanut butter throughout the day, water, and 2 McChickens at night for dinner.
Oh dear, no.
Yep.
No.
Did that for like a hot 6 months. But here's the thing.
What the hell were your poops like? Not good.
I don't even. I think I pooped like every 2 or 3 days, because like that was when when I filled up enough of my stomach for it to like even.
That's so bad.
Oh yeah. Oh, the worst diet. I'm pretty sure I fucked up my body for life in that time. Eating like
it's not good for your liver.
No.
Yeah, drinking's bad, but that can't be good either.
No. I was also working out while doing this. How? So I don't know. I was
youth. Seriously. That's half of why you were able to do that. This
was like post me getting out of the Marines, so like I was still a little crazy. I mean, I still am, but like this was like when I was more crazy. Yeah. It was just like I gotta be in shape. I gotta be ready for the next war.
Oh no.
Yeah.
On McChickens.
On McChickens. Listen, your boy was gonna survive. All right.
Yeah.
And I was paying for the motherfuckers with loose change.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Every day I was scrambling up together $2.10, because that's what it was for 2 McChickens with tax.
Yeah,
that was exactly it. $2.
Oh, your receipt. You didn't buy a soda, right? Nah, that's the secret of not getting. You avoided all that sugar. That's how you made it.
Yeah. That's another thing. Yeah, because I had a little sugar, like the peanut butter.
Sure, but like a Coke with the McChickens.
Right.
You're doing that every night. Never. No.
No. Definitely would not have had the fucking chiseled body that I had at that time. God damn it, I should have took pictures. Listen, was it worth it in the end? No. Like if I had those pictures, then yes. If I had some record of it,
it only would have been worth it if I had the record of the event.
I mean, it's probably a good thing, because I probably would have saw those pictures and been like, I gotta do it again.
But no.
But I still wish I had the record of it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So I get where Samantha's coming from. It's like something that you just like to have for yourself,
Yeah, like if you're if you're glammed up or like looking nice, you want to take a picture of that. Why is that it's not that different,
And she has a great body. Why wouldn't you want to, have that for yourself?
Do you know what I have to do every day after we tape? I have to try to take photos of people, of the hosts in their outfits. If it's not me, other people do. Like often our professional like wardrobe folks do it, because they're I'm not a bad photographer. They just think I'm a bad photographer because I don't overthink where the fucking lighting is from the set. And then they're mad that it doesn't look as good. And I'm like, I'm doing you need the outfit. I showed the outfit. I'm a better still life person. Anyway, the point is.
Also, get a photographer for that. That's somebody.
I've started to be like, hey, who's good at taking photos? Our wardrobe guy. He'll come in.
Right.
Taylor.
Right.
But I mean, every day after the show, it's so they can like tag it too in like Instagram posts and stuff like that. But I mean, they look good, and they know they look good, and they want to like show off the hair and makeup job for the girls more, or the clothes for everybody. And they're not. I wouldn't call any of them like overly vain or narcissistic. I mean, they're on TV too, and you gotta immortalize that. But
I mean, there's vanity in everyone. There's a bit
everyone's
of, yeah, a little bit. Yeah, you have to. I mean, that's literally like we're vain by nature. Our survival instinct is vanity. If you
Yeah.
think about that in the way, like we're literally just make sure that we survive no matter what.
Yeah.
So, boom.
But so Samantha goes to the shoot, and one of the guys is Tony Hale from Veep and
Yeah.
Arrested Development and everything. I love him. He's so good. He's called Tiger in this episode too, which is extra hilarious.
I was like, why they give him like a child's nickname?
Yeah, he's super young looking in this.
Yeah,
like,
he does.
so,
Yeah, he looks like he's about 12 years old.
Yeah, I guess that's why. I don't know.
It's so funny.
But I love how confident Samantha is too, because she comes in the robe and they're like, okay, well, we have some music choices, and if you just want to, and she just drops that robe like a dirty rag, and it's like, I'm ready.
She did. She's like, I'm confident. Let's go. Like, I'm ready. She's like, I'm not worried about my body. She knows what she's got. I mean, she's seen herself naked a bunch of times. I'm pretty sure, she's like, if she knew that there was like some things missing or like something that she wanted to fix, I would have fixed it by now. Because she's, seen herself naked enough times to know like what's under there. So
so she does it. She gets the negatives back, and I love that she's like, Charlotte, I want your artistic eye, and that's when Charlotte's like, I can see your whole vagina. And that leads to the whole vagina discussion about Charlotte and having never seen hers.
Right.
Which is just so silly. Then I do love the scene where Samantha takes the photo that she chose to the framers, and she is looking for a little validation.
Yeah.
And she's like, the mat should end here, and is like pointing at her boob.
Yeah.
And the guy's like, do you want it in black or charcoal gray? He's like just so
not interested. Not interested. He's like, whatever, lady. Like, what size frame do you want? Like, what do you want to look like? Like, can we just
Yeah. Oh, and speaking of, it's so funny you mentioned all your crazy diet stuff, because she is sort of dieting right before the photo shoot, which is
she's
super common.
Only organic, which is way ahead of our time, because nobody was talking about organic eating except for like really, really rich people. So that was like
detoxing and all that.
Right. Yeah, it's like celebrities and other rich people were talking about that, but nobody's like talking about really eating organic. Like that was the last 5 years or so.
And speaking of trying to look good and doing crazy shit to do it, speaking of Henry Cavill from earlier, I have a point, I promise. In the first season of The Witcher, there's this infamous, bathtub scene where he's like all shredded and whatnot.
Right.
He, I guess, to look even more cut on screen as if he wasn't already, like dehydrated himself for like a day or two so that all those muscles would really pop. Yeah. And then I had to go sit in this steamy bathtub. I think he passed out or almost passed out or something like that. Or if not, I wouldn't be surprised.
Shouts out to Henry Cavill for doing that, because like that's crazy, but like I get it for the shot. But also, you're not giving credit where credit's due. The first person to do that was your boy Hugh Jackman. He did that for an X-Men movie.
Oh, for one of the X-Men movies, yeah.
Yeah, he did it. Not all of them, but he did it for
probably the second or third one, maybe.
Days of Futures Past. He's supposed to go back in time where he was like in the 70s.
Yeah.
And so they wanted him to look really lean because he was supposed to look a little younger, even though Wolverine doesn't age. The fuck. Also, he wasn't that shredded in like the first movie, so like
I know he's like a normal amount. I mean, look, I remember that first movie.
Right, like he was like he was clearly built, like he had muscle, like clearly he worked out, but he wasn't just like this shredded like bear. You know what I mean?
You know what's so funny is I got to see him in Music Man, and he's always been like a slim dude when he's not doing X-Men. It's so funny to watch him like do all that stuff on stage, because he looks almost like half the width that he goes in all those X-Men movies. I was like, oh, it's because he's not like doing his delts or whatever the fuck, his traps. What the fuck are your shoulder muscles that get broadened out? I don't know. I don't go to a gym. I'm about to go to a gym. Is it the traps? I was halfway there. So like, and he's in like suits and stuff, and I just thought it was so funny because I was like, wow, I was like, you really weren't like as broad as I thought you were. You're quite narrow in person.
What's also, you gotta remember, it's been a while since he did those movies.
It's been a few years.
Right. Yeah. I mean, he still works out, but he's probably he ain't working out like that anymore. Like that's a different kind, because those motherfuckers, they make those guys work out like sometimes 2 to 3 times a day. Yeah. And then they do that like 4 times a week. And so
or
like
what's his face?
Diets and shit like that. He probably ain't on that strict diet because he probably was miserable the entire time.
Yeah,
diets like that.
A lot of guys I always appreciate Kumail Nanjiani, who was in Eternals and stuff. He's a comedian. He wasn't like overweight, but he wasn't like cut either. He's just kind of
No.
a soft, doughy, I guess. And he got shredded for Eternals. And he said, he's like, the only reason this worked is because they paid me to do it and they helped me do it. He's like, I had no fun that like entire like 6-month period because
But
I mean he looked fucking great, don't get me wrong.
But dude, they totally screwed him though. Because
Yeah.
they made him really get that shredded, and he had no shirtless scenes.
He had no shirtless scenes.
He had a shirt. He had sleeveless scenes.
He had
so his
sleeveless
arms
scenes.
looked
He
great.
looked great. Yeah, in that
arms were
Hollywood
great.
scene.
But
Loved
then,
it. Yeah, you're right. No shirtless
like,
scenes.
They screwed because like he was like because that's what he's like. There's been interviews of him saying he's like, yeah, that was like kind of a big motivator. They're like, we want you to be shirtless. We want you to look good shirtless. So like there's gonna be a couple of shirtless scenes for you. Like that's why we want you to work out. And no shirtless scenes. Also, I heard the scenes were shot, but they weren't put into the movie.
Oh, he must
time constraints. Well, let's be honest, like
just in the premiere, like chowing down a cake, like what a fucking waste of time.
Well, I'm sure that I would have like a whole cheesecake after that. Like fuck y'all. But like honestly, to be fair, not to go on a rant, The Eternal should have been a TV show, not a movie. There was too much information to be packed into 2.5 hours. You have 8 characters. How you gonna tell the whole story of 8 characters and give them character development and like have us care?
And somehow it was still boring, and I was like, "What?"
Yeah, because it was rushed. It should have been a TV show. If it was like 8 episodes, where like they had like done a TV show before the movie, then it would have been fire. Because if we had like an episode, like a little short, how they put the little shorts on Disney Plus with like telling us the backstory of each Eternal. That would have been something, but like they were just banking on like us, the Marvel fans, reading the Eternals, even though it's like not one of their most popular.
Eternals honestly broke me with Marvel, and all I'll say about the movie is congratulations on everyone being very hot in it. Well done.
Yeah, that's true.
That's kind of how I felt the whole movie. I was like, everybody is very hot. Good for you.
Yep, everybody.
All of you.
That's true.
Every one of you is very attractive.
Yep, that's true.
This movie is how goddamn long?
Facts though.
But to wrap up Samantha's plotline, she goes ahead and indulges in a cheeseburger at the end, but then the delivery guy is like,
oh yeah, she has her picture hanging up.
Staring at her picture, and he's like, "You're like really good looking," and she's like, "Here is an extra tip. Thank you so much." Well, she gets her little kernel of validation.
He took a chance though, because he didn't just say you're good looking. He was like looking at the picture, and he was like, "Nice ass."
Yeah.
He took a leap, because she could easily be like, "Get the fuck out!" Like, but because Samantha, was looking for that kind of validation.
Yeah.
And she's like not that uptight anyway when it comes to that kind of thing. Although I'm not saying that it was okay for him to say that. That was definitely crossing the line. You know, talk to a stranger person, like you don't just say that, compliment or not. But he got lucky because like Samantha's a cool chick, and like she ain't like that kind of stuff doesn't really get under her skin in that way.
Yeah.
Or at least in this moment. So because my man just straight up said nice ass.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I know you just gave her food and shit, but because she's got a great ass.
What is that from?
Oh fuck! It's from it's the movie where they rob the banks.
Heat.
Heat. Thank you.
Okay.
From Heat. Yeah.
I knew it was Pacino.
Pacino, De Niro, Heat.
Yeah. Okay. She's got a great ass.
She's got a great ass. The nation say that.
What a time. And before we go, we have to, we mentioned at the beginning, Stanford has his own mini plot line.
Yes.
He poor Stanford, I know. He's done so dirty by this show. He is talking to Carrie, and he is not feeling himself.
Right.
And he's like, I'm so lonely and kind of starved for sex. I might hire a sex worker. And she's like, whoa, you don't need to go that far.
I mean, but man's got needs. Like,
man's got needs. If he wants to do it, it's only up and up.
Yes, it's consensual. The prices are talked.
Yeah.
Nobody gets hurt.
And everybody's safe and everything.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Nobody gets hurt. We good. Like that's.
Yeah, he has. This man's got needs. He just wants to fulfill them. But Carrie does ask if Charlotte knows anyone that she could fix Stanford up with, and Charlotte thinks of her wedding planner, Anthony, Mario Cantone, who I love. He's so funny. His whole intense energy.
Yes.
It's so great. So he answers the phone and he's all like, "What?" And Charlotte's like,
already mad. He's like so pissed.
Yeah.
Like, why are you telling me?
Do you want to go out with my, my friend? And he's like, and he asks, "What does he look like?" And she's like, "A young Ed Harris." So get back to the Ed Harris business.
I love that callback, but it's not true. Stop saying. We've Googled him. We showed pictures of Ed Harris.
Yeah.
Stanford, love you. You don't look like Ed Harris, young or old, sir.
Yeah.
You don't.
Not quite there.
You got the same hairdo, and that's about it.
About it.
That's
not a knock against Stanford at all.
No,
but it is an inaccurate comparison.
Yes.
So when they meet at the fashion show and they like instantly kind of hate each other.
Well, the hate was not
more from Anthony's side.
Actually, I guess it kind of was from both because later on, Stanford. Well, we'll get to it. I don't want to rush, but later on, he says something that kind of makes me think it was a little bit from both, but definitely more from Mario's side. He immediately sits down and is just like, ugh. Like he couldn't believe that this. Okay, and I have to say something here because I've been in his situation. He didn't have to be that rude about it, but also, if you gonna set me up, you better fucking know me and know my type. Don't set me up with somebody that you like. If you call yourself my friend, you got to know what I look like. And we've all been in one of those situations where a friend is like, "Oh, I think you'd like such and such as my other friend. You guys should meet." And you're like, "All right, cool. I'll be open-minded to it. Let's see what it is." And then you get there and you're like, "Are you fucking kidding me?"
Yeah.
Like, not even to be on arrogant, just be like, that's not my type.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And like that was kind of what happened here. Like he was mean about it, but also it's like, Charlotte, you fucking know my whole vibe. This ain't it.
Yeah.
This ain't it. That's not his cup of tea. You already know that.
So I like the awkward, like, Charlotte's like, "It's Anthony Marantino," and Stanford's like, "Is that Italian?" And he's like, "It's Sicilian." And he's like, "Is that different?" Like, no, it's not. But like, people from Sicily are very into being from Sicily. Yeah,
don't say that in Sicily because they'll have your ass for that. There is a difference, but there is.
Yeah.
Here's the thing, though, Sicilians, if you're gonna be different, you gotta start talking about your Black heritage. That's where they came from. Okay, don't act like you're not half a Black man. All right, stop trying to act like you're white. You're not white. If you're not Italian and you're Sicilian, then you're Black. Just saying, know your history, do your Googles.
Yeah, and for the record, like I think people tend to think Italy, more southern Italy, as far as looks and stuff like that, but Italy contains multitudes. So, there's a north is very more white European, and then you get more so. Mediterranean as it is. Yes. But truly, we are all genetically exciting and different, and that's nice. But they go their separate ways, and Anthony's like pissed at Charlotte for the setup, like you said. And then Stanford's pissed. He's like, "I can't believe Charlotte thinks I'll go without with him, but he rejected me. I was rejected by somebody I didn't even want." Which
rejected hard too, because he went back there to check on Carrie, came back, gone.
And
Mario
was
gone.
Out. Yeah.
He didn't even say goodbye or nothing. Like they show him saying goodbye. He was just like, "How dare you, Charlotte?"
Yeah. I love sweet Charlotte is like trying to be like, everything's fine.
No, because here's the thing. She fucked up because essentially she only tried to hook them up because they were both gay men. That's it. Yeah, she didn't factor in any personality or anything like that, because Carrie called her, was like, "Hey, do you have anybody that do you know anybody that would go out with Stanford?" She didn't think Stanford. She just thought gay man. Ooh, I have a gay friend. Boom, got them together. That's not how it works.
Nope.
There's still got to be attraction, baby. Like, yes, we're men, and yes, gay men probably have a lot of sex, but that doesn't mean they have sex with a bunch of people that they're unattracted to.
Correct.
If anything, they probably have sex with people they're attracted to, unlike straight men.
I wouldn't presume to know. I have no idea.
I know. There ain't a dude out there. If you could tell me he had dime pieces your entire life, you're lying. You're lying. Okay.
Uh,
Anyway, tell people where they can.
yeah. They can.
It's got real
Well,
serious.
well,
Yeah, well, I mean,
yeah,
you know,
that's the
life.
conclusion of that.
Yeah.
You can find us most easily initially on Instagram at Show Me What Podcast, and that'll take you to our Twitter, our Facebook, our YouTube, and you can find me on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok at Elizabeth Movies.
And you can find me at Mack Diddy Combs, which I think I might change that to just my real name. We'll see soon. So be on the lookout for that, because branding and shit,
Yeah.
So I'll be doing that soon enough.
And don't forget, as always, we have the promo code for the Arlo Australia candles, which are always excellent, always awesome. It's all caps. Show me miss.
Yarp. Save
some money and buy yourself some McChickens, which I really freaking want now.
Hey, listen.
Call me McDonald's.
And the thing is too, like, some people talk about they sugar food, they never want to eat it again. I'll still fuck up a McChicken right now. Let's go. Sugar food or not, I'm ready. Let's go.
Hey, everybody hit up the drive-thru. Have a good night, weekend, day. I realized we're recording this at night, but I don't know when you'll be watching it. So have a good timeline.
Boom. We out.